This week, Chloe has some mega sunburn. David wanted to run up to a cop and stroke his gun, and he also might have been banned from Mexico or might not be able to return. There's a thing there. We'll get into that. And I am a human burrito. So let's strap down, let's strap in, and let's do this.
This is just another trucking podcast.
All right.
Hello, this.
Sorry.
Can I start? Am I okay starting, David?
Yes, I'm sorry. Okay, there's
Okay.
a delay.
A delay,
Right, so
right?
my
Okay, that's
apologies.
fine. So I'm okay to start. Am I?
I could have cut
do
it
my-
out. I could have
Right,
cut
okay,
that out. You
that's
didn't have to
fine,
actually
right.
stop. Sorry.
We don't have.
can go now.
That's happened. We've ruined the intro. We've ruined
The
it.
intro's
David.
fine. Get on with it.
Man up,
Hello,
get on with it.
This is Just Another Trucking Podcast. I am your host, Tom, and I'm joined, as always, by my friends.
What?
Sorry, guys. My good friends.
Which one of us?
My co-hosts.
I was like, who's that aimed
I was
at?
going to make a joke about you, David, interrupting me, but I thought, no, never mind.
Ah.
We're going with this intro. This whole thing's been left in. Hello, how are we doing? This is happening. Fuck
I'm
it.
good.
This is
How are
where
you
we're
doing,
at.
Tom?
Yeah, I'm very good. But I was going to say, my good friend, my co-host, because I had two little funny things. A lady who has some serious tan lines going on. If you're listening to this in your truck, just imagine the worst tan lines you can imagine. And
Yep,
that's
it's
what's
good luck.
happening. And yeah, and a man who has just bought a house
Yay!
And-
That's me.
and has informed us he has never stepped foot in said house that he has just
I know,
paid
right?
a
Oh, no.
sizable amount for. So
Yeah, it's
Oh,
actually
David.
it's 1,000 miles away, and I have never.
Is this
set
a
foot in
regular
it.
thing in America?
If you're moving from one
We'll
state
see.
to another, maybe.
Wow.
We have a Krista has a friend that actually did the exact same thing. They literally bought the house. Again, I know what it looks like. I know every inch of it. I've seen pictures. I've seen 3D footage of it. I've seen everything. You know, it's fine. You know what I mean?
but you can't
It's
Wow.
because
inside.
but the thing is, I know. But again, there was an inspection done. There was an appraisal done. There was everything done. So it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? It's like it'll be a nice little surprise. It's an older-ish house. I wouldn't say like it's an old house, not like in Ireland or England or whatever. You know, I mean, it was 1978, I believe, is when the house was made. So
Okay.
there's definitely some stuff
Fairly
I'm
new
going
then.
to have to get done to it before we move in. You know, there actually is an entire month a month and a half, where it'll be vacant. You know, because the current tenants, or what are tenants? Technically, they are tenants right now. They're our tenants. So yeah, we're renting the house out before we actually move into it, because they need to stay there for a month. They can't move out till August. So, but once they're out, then I'm going to get the contractors in and paint the house up and get rid of whatever needs to get rid of. So yeah,
Nice.
yeah. The whole house thing is all new to me, but I'm excited, and I did get my big garden in the back, so I'm very happy with that.
Oh, that's always a
Oh, mate.
bonus.
Yeah,
No,
that
that's
is
the
exciting.
bonus.
I had,
That was the most important thing for me.
Yeah.
my
I
previous
imagine.
house. So I'll tell you what happens. And by the way, this is not to scare you, but my previous
Oh,
house.
no.
Although I think in America they're legally supposed to tell you this sort of thing. Although we were renting, but still, the previous
Right.
tenants of our house got a little bit murdered.
Got a little.
So-
Oh,
yeah.
lovely. Got a
Just a
little
little
bit murdered. Right.
Not
Well-
fully,
well-
but you know.
Just
no,
a
no.
little stab.
Well, no, it was. Yeah, it was. That was exactly what happened.
Oh,
But,
was it?
yeah. But
You know, it
Just
would
a
be
little
a gun
one.
over
they thought
here.
that they thought that he'd stabbed her to death and then stabbed himself to death, which did sound strange to us. But recently, the police are like, "Yeah, might have been a serial killer." So that's
Oh,
a thing.
wow.
Yeah.
Lovely.
So there you go. And
I don't know if they are
it's
legally supposed
funny.
to tell us. I have no idea.
I don't know what. Someone was like, I was explaining where I was living to someone. They were like, "Oh, you're in the murder house." I was like, "Say what now? Say
I was-
what?"
was gonna say I thought they had to tell you because I watched that Simpsons episode where March was trying to sell the house and it was the murder house, and she had to tell them, didn't she? Oh no, she didn't. She sold it as a murder house, didn't she?
I don't know
No.
what episode you're
Have I
talking
lost
about.
you?
I'm sorry.
That's my
But
education. The Simpsons.
I don't know. Are we supposed to base facts on the Simpsons episodes? You know, maybe they didn't do their research beforehand. So
I don't think
I
I
don't
even
know.
watched it properly, so I don't know.
So this is where we'd have producer and we'd get him to go and like.
Yeah. Are we without
Just
producer
go on.
again?
Oh yeah, we don't have any. We don't have any producer. We're again.
I mean, it's kind of evident already by the start of this.
yeah. It's
Yeah, a little
just-
bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
isn't it
before
just-
people actually stop listening, let's go ahead and plug some stuff. We got Tom wearing Just Another
Yes,
Trucking
David.
Podcast merchandise that you can get at slamslap.com. And
Beauty.
What else? Oh yeah, you know,
Yeah,
obviously.
right.
No one else.
David, can I ask your gorgeous wife, your beautiful wife, who came just before on the kind of pre-show thing? So you've bought. Have you bought her a Salmon Slap T-shirt, or has she bought
She's
herself
bought herself
one?
one.
So she
And
bought
you've still
herself
got
one,
That's amazing.
and you haven't bought yourself one.
No, no, those are absolute facts that you're saying right there.
So what you're saying is
Wow.
your wife's more loyal to the podcast than you are, one of the actual hosts.
Excuse
And you're the
me,
one
I
plugging it,
would
telling everyone to go
gladly
to it.
replace I don't know how many hours of editing this podcast I have to do with buying a T-shirt. I'm just saying.
Well,
It's not good enough.
So buying the T-shirt was a lot more loyal than the hours and hours of agony. Okay, I wouldn't say agony. but,
Yeah. Yeah. We got a lot of love
Anyways.
from loyalty people buying merch at the moment,
Yeah, we have.
actually.
oh, we have.
Uh,
Yeah, we've got a lot of love going on. So I'm liking it.
Yeah.
I'm liking the love.
I'm
We've
loving
gotten
the
what,
love.
25 grand in the last week in merch sales. You know, like they're going out. They're
Fucking.
they're going out.
I could
they're
assure
going
you
out
it's
really
not
quickly.
25
You
grand.
really, you need to buy quickly. 'Cause if you don't
They're
buy
going
now,
out.
all right, they're going out. You know, so
Buy now. It's all going out of stock. You need to buy now.
they're eventually.
yeah.
I heard a rumor that they will appreciate a lot more than what you're buying for it. So you know, so just kind of hold on to it, keep it inside in the plastic. You know, just
I will
buy
say,
as many.
So here's something interesting for you. This is going to get sidetracked, but
Sidetrack from what?
Yeah.
so
what?
I don't really know, to be honest with you. We actually sell more Just the Trucking t-shirts than I do Except for Access t-shirts, because they're both through SummerSlap.com.
Yes.
So that actually goes to show something
Podcast
about
love.
it's the podcast listeners are weirdly more loyal than like
That's good. But
Then-
Tom, I mean, yours is quite like not very exciting. It just says
It is,
except
yeah.
for access.
We
Yours-
have
your
been working
podcast
on-
doesn't
we have
have
been
us.
working on stuff this week, haven't we? Yeah,
I think
it's been
the
thing.
podcast is a bit more exciting.
it is. It's a much nice t-shirt. It's a much
Yeah,
nice t-shirt.
Everyone buy
I,
podcast, yeah.
I was wanting to talk about. I'm going to not even get.
Fuck
into
it, just do it.
We're
Yeah,
already.
yeah.
Are we 3 or 4 tangents in? I
We've
don't
not
know.
even started
I
a
don't know.
topic, so let's
Yeah,
just
doesn't
go with
matter.
it.
This is where we're going. Bollocks to it. We'll start the podcast soon. Regular listeners will know this just happens. I went to laser tag today with my kids.
Oh,
I was
did
like,
you?
What's
So-
that?
Just shoot
wait.
each other.
Well, what
Do you
what's
not
it?
wanna-
Oh, laser tag.
It's
I'm sorry. I
Yeah,
thought
well-
I thought it was a store. My apologies. Carry on.
no.
What
So
sort of
when I was
store?
when I were a youngin, we used to go to a place in Morecambe, which from where I lived on the bus. So this is before I drove or anything like that. On the bus, it used to take like an hour and a half to get there. It
Oh
was-
my God.
It was amazing. It was the best thing. Oh, it was so good. And I was talking to my girlfriend, was talking about this. I don't know where the conversation came up with, but we were talking about this, and I was like, "My kids are coming. I've got my kids this weekend. I can take them."
Let's go.
And so I was like, I'd said to them, "Oh, there's a few things we could do this weekend." It's like, "Oh, there's the aquarium. There's a science museum." So I was like, I'd already said these things. So I was like, Right, so we could go to like a museum if you wanted. I will say the museum that we could have gone to is pretty amazing, but I have to downplay it because I want to go to laser tag. I have to listen. At this point, I'm in full manipulation of my children. Like that's what's happening. We are going to laser tag, but I'll allow them to make that decision with
So
my
what are you just
manipulation.
literally like laser tag? Let's do that.
So I was
Yes.
like, so we could go to a museum, or we could go and see some fish at an aquarium, or we could go to basically some place where we go and shoot each other with flashing lights and like laser guns. You get to use laser guns. It's called.
Wow.
So
What
anyways-
kid would not choose that? In all fairness.
Exactly, yeah. Well, this is it, and they went for it. They went for it, hook, line, and sinker, and I was very, very appreciative of it. So
Yeah, that does sound fun. Bloody hot though. Were you indoors? I mean, you
yeah.
are
I
ginger.
am-
You can't
I-
deal with
by
too
the way-
much outdoors.
my topic is heat, by the way, which I was going to talk
Oh,
about later.
okay.
But
Well, this leads on
fuck me.
nicely.
But yes, it was super hot. It was so much fun though. It's funny. I went in and like it smelt. There was a smell.
Oh no! What sort of
no,
smell?
no. It's not a bad smell. It's just like I smelt it as I went in, and it was just all of the equipment and just kind of like a smell of that, and I was just like instant hit like with nostalgia. It was
Oh,
fucking
right.
amazing. But yes, it was hot. Oh my god,
Disinfectant?
Yeah.
it was hot. I don't really know
'Cause,
what
you
it
know-
was. I couldn't tell. It wasn't a bad smell. It was just something I was immediately like hit with like childhood, and I was like, oh yeah, I remember this.
Good memories. Like, oh,
I feel
yeah,
like
this is gonna be fucking
airsoft
good.
and paintball has taken over the whole
That
laser
hurts.
tag.
I was about to say airsoft is the one with the little balls.
but it's
Is that
yeah,
that
yeah,
one?
airsoft, yeah, with the tiny little balls, yeah, that can
Yeah, that
pierce the skin if you
hurts.
shoot.
It's good fun though.
Oh, it is
Well,
absolutely, but yeah.
So when I were a lad, when I went, you just had the
When
you
I
had the
were a
gun-
lad.
you had the gun, and you had like the vest and stuff like that.
Are we
Right.
talking about
was
laser
it.
tag or are we still talking about
this is
laser tag?
Yeah, this
This
is the
is
laser
laser
tag.
tag
Yeah,
now.
so we usually had
Right.
the two things, and that was pretty much it. You shot each other, and you got a score at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And there's a
And
base. There's a
so-
base that you could shoot.
No,
I'm
no,
not
no,
any
no,
of
not
that.
when I went first. There was on this one, and like you got upgrades, and like you could get rapid fire on your gun, and you could get invincibility and
That's pretty
invisibility
cool.
and all
I
sorts
like
of cool
it.
things. And like there was like all these.
It was like playing
I was thinking-
Halo or something.
I know, well, funny enough, you got these names, and one of them was was it Master Chief and all sorts. If you want to, a bit of a plug actually, I may as well plug the place. Dark Star in St. Helens is where we went. It was so good, but the only
It's
thing
too far away
was-
from me.
It's definitely too far away from me. The only thing was,
Well, I'm sure you could
It
Google
was-
it and there'll be one within 15 miles, so it doesn't really matter.
oh yeah,
Oh,
I'm sure
maybe.
there will be.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
well, but we went and there was a lot of kids there.
Obviously,
And I
Oh,
did feel
no.
like I was when I say there was a lot of kids there, it was only kids. There was me,
And
my
you.
girlfriends. Yeah. So and I did have to ask
And
the guy. I
you
said,
being like the giant as well went in and
you're
joined in.
literally twice.
You're
the-
literally like
the
a
height
walking
of everybody.
target.
"Oh
Yeah.
yeah, well no, but I'm okay because I went with my kids. That was my excuse. I went with my kids, so I'm okay. But I said to the guy, "Have you got a time when like adults go, and I could go along with me?" I was like,
Oh, you
What with
didn't
all your
actually,
mates?
you didn't do it. You just took your
"Oh
kids.
yeah, damn right I did it. I was
Oh, okay.
fucking
All right.
storming down there. I shot today, David. I shot children, and I fucking loved it. It was great. I honestly feel
Shooting children is always a good thing. In
just the
laser
Trucking
tag.
Podcast 22.
Yes, specify that.
sorry, yeah, I needed to finish that sentence.
Oh my word! This
that
is
the
why
th-
we can't have
Is
nice
that the
things.
is that the thumbnail of me shooting a child?
David wants to shoot
Wait.
children.
Oh wait. So what's the? Oh, my God.
Oh,
know,
this
so-
no, we can't do that.
Sometimes we can't. Can we have that as our title?
I don't think you
Sometimes
can.
it's fun to shoot little trick kids.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
fuck it, I'm
oh,
sure it'll
no,
be fine.
You can't. No, absolutely, you cannot do it. That's still a touchy subject over here.
But not over here.
Oh, yeah,
Oh.
maybe not in America.
Yeah,
It's
no,
going to
in
be a
America-
bad taste, Tom.
Okay,
bad
we're gonna,
taste.
Yeah, actually, this is that is okay. We're again. Oh wow.
Can we talk about gun control on the podcast or not? I know because we're not
No,
supposed
we
to talk about like political stuff, but it is bonkers.
Gun control.
Well, no, just in America. I don't
okay.
get the whole like why Americans want guns thing. Why do they go? Why
'Cause
do
it's your
Americans go
free
so
will,
mental
isn't
about?
it?
Well, it was back in the day. I think it's the Second Amendment where we have a right to bear arms, and they're holding on to
Yeah.
that as much as they possibly can because people think guns are fun. All right, there's a crazy amount
I'm sure
of
they are.
respectful gun owners out there, and they respect it like a bloody religion. All right, but there's a lot of people who don't, and again, it's those people who don't that are swallowing it for everybody else. Now I can see
It's
it
like
work. I
everything,
can see
though,
it.
isn't it?
Again, it's just that the Democrats, they want a lot crazier gun control, and then the Republicans, they want zero gun control. They want anyone to be able to buy a gun and all that. And it's just it's just that again, uh, because there's such a huge divide between Democrats and Republicans, everyone's sticking really hard to whatever they're told to stick to. All right.
But why
So
can't
again,
I don't understand why they can't have like why people can't. I mean, obviously there was the what was the lad in Portsmouth that managed to not Portsmouth, Plymouth.
Oh, that young lad. Yes. He went around and he shot his
Shot like a bunch of people.
mother, and then like
we had a bit
is
of a
this,
mass
this
shooting.
boy
is
and
in English?
Yeah, this is
England,
literally
yeah.
about
Damn.
half an hour for me. This was
Yeah.
he went. It was like a 22-year-old, something like that. And he basically went and shot his mum, and then he went down the street
he had mental
and
health
shot
issues,
a couple of
so
other
he
people.
did.
Yeah, but then he got taken the gun license away from him, and then they released it back to him within like a week of the
Wait,
shooting.
he had a gun. He had a license to have a gun.
Yeah.
Yes, so really, got a gun
Which we
license.
A revolver, a pistol. What?
No, you can't.
No, it's
revolvers
different.
and pistols are illegal here.
Yeah.
They're allowed.
So
you're allowed
he had a
shotguns.
license
You're
to
allowed
have a
rifles.
hunting license. He had a hunting license.
Yeah, a
basically.
rifle or something, probably. Yeah. Whatever
Okay.
it is.
So,
but
the UK's got like the strictest gun laws in the world. Like it's like some of. I think is it Switzerland? Have they got the strictest? No, is it
Probably.
Switzerland?
It
Is it
wouldn't surprise
Switzerland
me.
or Austria or somewhere like that?
Whereas
They've
you,
got the-
David, you just get it in a magazine chucked through your mailbox. It's
Comes
junk.
with free
It's
gun.
spam. Yeah.
it's spam. Try it out for a month and see if you like it or not. You know.
when I lived in America and I went to the Walmart.
Right.
And
The Walmart.
just the local Walmart, and there was a gun. There was like, do you know when you go to Asda? Because Asda was
Yes.
Walmart at one point. It's not anymore.
Yeah.
And like you've got all your aisles, so you've got your toy aisle and stuff like that, and then so
Yeah.
you've got your electronics.
Your shooting range.
And I will say,
inside there.
well, so they do have they've got like a bigger electronics range than they do in the UK. We only have a
Right.
little. We have a few TVs and stuff like that in
Yeah, bit of a
Asda, but
kettle,
they have like
whatever.
a proper, and you could buy all sorts. But then they had a gun aisle, and it just blew my mind. Like, I don't know. It absolutely, it completely threw me because
It's just not a normal thing to see, is it, for us?
So I'd seen when I've heard guns in the UK because
Yeah.
where I live, I'm from so I'm from a little town called Milnthorpe. Big up the
Okay.
Milnthorpe massive. Anyone's listening, you're not. There's no one from Milnthorpe.
Right.
But we had they did pheasant shooting. So in pheasant
Yeah, and
season,
clay
you'd hear
pigeon
them,
and all that, yeah.
and you'd hear them popping the shots and stuff like that. And you might
Yeah, we
see
get that
someone
here.
with a shotgun folded over their arm
Yeah.
walking across a field
Mhm.
towards that. But that's from a
That's it.
distance. And I tell you what, the first time, I don't know if you found this, David, the first time I came in proximity of a gun in America, I was incredibly nervous.
I know, right?
It was.
I understand
it was-
you completely. I couldn't
I
believe
was
it. As
like-
soon as you go into the airport, you just see these security guards and like, oh my god, is that a real gun? Like, and then you're like, and then you're
Oh,
like,
actually, no.
can
no,
I touch?
correct
Can I
that.
touch it, please? Can I touch it?
I-
No, and then he lets you.
Okay,
You know, and
we'll just correct that. I've seen armed police with
That's what
with
I
like
saw
an
the other day.
MP5 and stuff like that. But then that's police.
Yeah, but I still
That's
had
kind of-
that. So
that's-
I
that's-
was
That's
I was driving
different.
down the road the other day in the lorry, and I was coming out of extra marshmallow, whatever it was, and there was 2 vans pulled over, and there was like 3 like police cars, a couple of unmarked police cars, and they were literally inside these vans with like proper guns. I was like driving past, going, "Oh my god, there's guns in real life!" And I was just like, straight out of there. Well, they could have had plastic tasers or whatever they are. I don't know.
I think it was America. Was the very first time I ever saw an actual handgun. Basically, yeah, I think it was. It was, when I first moved to America, whatever. I think it was like 19. But it's absolutely crazy. But the most nervous I ever was, though, is when I flew into Cancun, Mexico, and seeing I don't know what they're called, the Federale or whatever they had. They had the AK-47s or whatever. I don't know what they are. Not the AKs, whatever they have. It was just the machine guns. They're basically just the machine guns that they had strapped over their head.
That sounds terrifying.
Around their body. And it was just like, damn. It's just that you hear about a lot of crazy stuff in Mexico. How everything's lawless. Like, basically, we came across 2 corrupt cops.
Just for legal reasons,
we
are not saying that everything in Mexico is lawless. That's not what we're trying to say here.
We're not trying to say it. Okay, well, but there's definitely
David is saying it.
David is saying it, but we're not.
But we're not.
So we're on our way.
Do you not remember what happened to Hammond of Top Gear when he said?
No, don't give me that. My surname's Hammond. What?
No, like Richard Hammond off Top Gear.
Yeah.
When he said something about like all Mexicans are lazy or something, and the Mexicans, I think the Mexican embassy got involved. Like it was.
Is this the one where they went over to America and they went through Mexico or something? What was the one where they went to America and they got chased out?
No, they had to go to the Mexican border. That's what's going to happen to us. David, you can never go to Mexico now. Sorry, I apologize. Continue.
We rented a car and we went from whatever to wherever to whatever, right? And on the way back, nobody was drinking and we were just driving along, and I think there was a vehicle in front of us. I was in the back seat, and again, this is a Jeep, an open Jeep, meaning there's no roof or whatever,
Yeah.
A cop was behind us for like, I don't know, good 3, 4, 5 miles or whatever, right? And then an ambulance came from behind. So my buddy, the driver, he just kind of like went a little bit to the right, onto the shoulder a little bit, just to make sure that the ambulance has enough room, whatever, right? Obviously, that's nothing wrong, but then the cop put on his lights and pulled us over. And luckily enough, my buddy, the other buddy, he had a little bit of Spanish. He kind of grew up in Spain a little bit. He's a kind of a rich English boy that grew up in the Canary Islands. And so he figured out as in like, the reason that we got pulled over because of that little, he moved over to the shoulder to let the cop, again, the cop just wanted an excuse. Any excuse whatsoever, just to get money. Again, and then of course we just had to give him cash.
So you just give him money to move on.
Yeah. Again, and then the other time, I can't believe I'm actually going to say this, but the other one, the other reason why we when we ran into cops was my fault, because I couldn't wait to our house was too far away. And I really needed to take a leak, so I went. I went through the trees, and a cop saw that I went into the trees, and he fucking legged it towards us because he was like, he knew exactly what was happening, and of course,
so
when
you
I came
cannot
back,
be over there.
Well, not in the bushes.
Is it like in distance? Oh, what? So if you just did it on the road, you'd been fine.
I don't know. Basically, anywhere. I don't.
Was it an endangered plant?
Well, no, it's just because you're not allowed to take a leak unless it's in a toilet, I suppose. You know what I mean? You can't just, like, it's not, I don't know. Surely it's illegal to piss against a wall in England, isn't it?
If you're pregnant, you're allowed to do what you want.
If you're pregnant, you're allowed to take it from.
You take a leak wherever you want.
You're legally allowed to take it from a cop's head.
That's not actually a thing anymore. But yeah, that is something that used to be a law. So. Yeah. Okay. But
anyway, he ended up.
Wait,
hold on.
I'm going to bring this back.
No, you're not, because I'm not done with my story.
Okay, quick, go with your story.
All right,
come on
then. He came back. He came back, and he just basically threatened to take me to the actual whatever the drunk tank.
Prison
basically is where the drunk tank for Americans. You know what I mean? And it cost me like $300. dollars, and which I had to pay cash, which I didn't have,
Wow.
and I had to actually get it off my buddies, and it was just like so I learned my lesson,
Just
but
a
he
pain.
knew exactly what was happening, and all those cops basically they just want to extract as much cash as possible that don't actually see the government. You know what I mean? It's just this is just basically. And it
It's just
happens all
cash
the
in
time.
hand.
The amount of
It's-
stories that I've heard from people that
It,
that
it, wa-
happens all the time.
it was a tip.
Yeah,
It,
it was
it,
basically
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
a public service
in a way.
tip.
I
is
kind of
what you
I kind of
did.
consider it a bit of a tax on tourists. You know, even though they wouldn't have a fucking
Well, they'll be
city the
looking
way
out
they
for
have
rental
it
cars,
if it wasn't
won't they?
for tourists. Like Cancun would not be in the map if it wasn't for tourists. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
if anyway, yeah, I had a
Fair
beef with
enough.
that.
Can I bring this trucking podcast back?
I
around
will
to
allow
trucks?
it now.
Okay,
Yeah,
thanks,
go on,
David.
go
I
on.
Are we
appreciate
talking?
that.
Are we talking about trucks?
Yeah,
I don't know what we're on
Right,
about.
Well, pissing. So
Pissing.
Oh, okay.
I don't
How
know.
is this truck related?
Well,
I
'cause
imagine
I
pissing in a
thought
truck.
I thought if you were allowed to piss alongside of your truck. Yeah.
Is this the thing where you said about you did the left hand or something on the truck? That's fake.
The
It's
left
an
hand-
Oh, is it?
old. It's an old rule. Yeah, something like you go on the right hand side and you put one hand on the truck or something, or up the fuel tank and you piss or something. No, you're not allowed to because it's indecent exposure. No matter what you do, you're not allowed to piss in public
So where are you supposed to piss then?
in a toilet
in a restroom.
What
in a restroom.
when you sat in a lay-by all night,
Yeah.
sweating
You're
your
not,
bollocks
are you
off?
allowed
How dare
actually
you need
sleep?
a wee?
Are you allowed sleep on a lay-by?
Yeah, of course you are.
I thought that's just like for a little bit of a break.
No. Oh no! Well, the amount of laybys that I've been in, not as many as Chloe, but you know.
Not mine.
Sorry.
Here's the thing.
Move on.
Okay,
move along.
here's the thing. A rest area. If you ever never drop anything at a rest area or a truck stop, all right, because there's guaranteed to be piss on it. It may be dried up piss.
Oh, it always
but
stinks.
there is, and
Yeah.
it reeks, and it's just it really upset. I've seen some videos where this one dude he was in the passenger side and he opened up the passenger door and he's literally taking the leak out onto the fucking ground. And this other truck driver gets his phone out and starts recording him. And like, hey, dude, what are you doing? What are you doing? You can't go to the restroom. You really had to go. Doesn't matter, dude. You seriously, it was just there's such a lack of respect at truck stops.
So there is. I've been to truck stops, like you say, and they'll be down the bottom end, and you think, "Oh, I'll park down here. It's nice and peaceful." You get out, and it stinks of piss.
Yeah.
What I hate
Absolutely
is seeing
reeks.
the bottles of piss. Do you guys have bottles of piss
Oh,
of all over the place?
Occasionally.
Oh,
It's
not
not-
really seen it.
Sometimes
no.
sometimes you'll see them off the freeway. Basically, they'll fill it up and they throw it out the window. And
Why
there
don't they
is
just pour it out.
I don't know. Again, it's just such a. And the thing is, it's a hazardous waste, so hazmat has to pick it up. A regular cleaning crew
Oh,
aren't
really?
supposed to pick. Yeah, that's
Really?
what I've heard. Yeah, because it's hazardous waste. It's piss. It's urine. You know?
Wow.
biological, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so
biological,
as
I
in, like
guess,
so
yeah.
so it costs a lot more. It's so upsetting. Trucks, the lack of respect.
But all they
people
have to do
at
is
truck
like
stops.
wait until they just wait until they get to a bin at the very least. If they're gonna piss in a bottle, why not just wait till you get to a bin? It's not. You guys in America have big enough trucks, right? I'm sure you've got enough room.
I don't know. I mean, as far as laybys go, well, it's laybys in this like industrial estates as well as that. But like,
Yes.
I will say, if I do have to, and if there's grass or bushes that I can kind of, because at least that way, it's not just going to sit, is it?
What? So you're
It's
just
going
gonna
to.
piss in a bush?
Well, no, but if you piss on tarmac, it just kind of sits there and just
and
Oh,
eventually
evaporates.
with
stains.
ya.
It's all
Yeah,
of
I hear
all
ya.
of the salt stays in there, such and all of the kind of it's just going to all the water's going to evaporate and everything else is going to stay. The bit that smells.
Well, if
whereas
you're doing it in the
piss
bushes
grass,
too, animals do it in the bushes. It's just, so that's basically the
Exactly.
kids aren't going to be playing there. It's just that do it where someone isn't going to be walking or putting their hands. Like, I'm not a big fan of the people pissing on tires because a human's hand has to hit those tires once in a while. You know what I mean? You got to like work on it. Or
Yeah.
whatever. I'm like, come on. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's just
I
it's
will-
very
I
upsetting
will
how
say-
how
I
the
will
lack
say
of respect
there-
people have for the
there was
environment around the
a summer day and my tire was so my do you know when sometimes you're looking at you're doing your walk around checks, you're like, you can't tell if the tire's bulging because you're on the piss a little bit, as in like you're on a bit of an angle,
Yeah. Okay.
or
Yeah.
if maybe like one of like the center
is
It's
low. Yeah.
on the outside tires, but maybe like an inner drive has gone.
Yeah.
But so there's
Just
this
looks a
one
bit
time
weird.
I'm looking at it, and I'm like, I don't know if the inner drive's gone, but I'm not checking it here because it stinks of piss, and I'm not crawling around on my hands and knees. So I
Oh.
drove out like kind of towards the exit of the services, and I checked it there. I was like, yeah, I ain't checking this shit here. I'll do it fucking out there. I'm not
Yeah.
crawling around. I mean, if I was like, yeah, it's 100% gone, but I was like 90%.
Yeah,
don't
it's
know.
when you sat on the bit of a weird piss, isn't it? And you just like literally
Yeah.
piss, and you're just not sure whether or not. But by the time
So
you take
I
off,
thought I'd
it's
check it.
fine.
I'm not putting my hands on the ground because I'll have to go and bloody wash my hands.
I was
yeah.
I was
Gross.
big into fitness there, and I decided I'm going to do some push-ups. But I had my gloves on but I had to throw the gloves away afterwards because it was just I was like, oh, what the hell is going on? I put my gloves away. I'm like, there's this fucking smell of piss. What the fuck is going on here? And I
Oh
was like, and then I
no!
realized what was going on. As in, like, it was just so. There's just so many.
So potent.
I get
Yeah.
so upset with people, and like, the thing is, they have garbage bins everywhere. Nearly every 5 trailers or whatever, at the very back, there's a garbage bin. But there's so much garbage being chucked in the fence or in the area or by the trees or whatever at the truck stops. Again, we don't pay to say at most truck stops. I would nearly say 95% of truck stops you do not have to pay. All right, it's just that if the truck stops inside in the city, and I can understand them charging for that, because there's so many people. It's like, why not make a profit? You know what I mean? But again, still, those are pretty. Again, it doesn't matter what truck stop you're going to. It's going to be disgusting. It really, really is going to be disgusting. Yeah.
See, I'll admit. So if I'm at a truck stop for the night, there's one time I've pissed outside my truck at a truck stop, and it was when I was doing nights. And it was I don't know what time of day it was, but the truck had heated up, and I woke up kind of delirious, and I was like, I'm about to piss. I'm about to wet myself right now. And I was like, there are no options for me right here. I am peeing. It's either inside my cab, outside my cab, or on the way to the toilets. But there is no option of me getting to the toilets. I am about to piss myself. And I did it then. But like otherwise, I don't mind walking. It doesn't bother me. But it is. The problem is here, it's the cost. The cost is ridiculous.
Oh,
We've talked about this
What,
before.
to stay at
It's
truck stops?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, I can't. I know it's just a lot of it is mainly because your country's so small. I imagine your population is a lot condensed. Everything we have so much room in America. You know what I mean? There is so much space. Our roads can be so
Yeah.
straight and so wide and everything, right? So, and it's a lot of times just to get them in there. Land is a lot cheaper. You're going to find a lot more truck stops in the middle of nowhere, than you will. It's just because the land is a lot cheaper. It's just you're asking to rent. How long would you be stayed? How long? Like 10, 12 hours? Would you stay in the exact same place overnight?
It depends. It depends, but the amount of times that I mean, 9 hours was
Okay,
like,
so 9 hours. So you're
usually.
renting
But
a lot of
9 hours,
property
but 11
for that-
hours max.
Yeah, so you're basically making it to where you're occupying somebody's property and you want to do that for free. You know what I mean? It's just It's just that
Yeah, I get that, but
because land costs a lot of money. So the closer you are to a city, the more the land is going to cost. So the more chances you're going to have to after you pay for it. But
These aren't in the city. These are on roads.
They're
These
just
are
anywhere, aren't they?
These are out in the sticks.
can't you? I don't know what they're called. Well, okay, the rest areas, are they called rest areas? Basically, and they still have a service. Are they? Do you have to pay for those?
So the
what
rest
if
areas.
you just pull over?
In America, sorry, not in America, in England.
Oh,
If you
yeah.
I've seen a few places where I clicked rest area. I just wanted to take a look at what it looks like from an aerial photograph. Now, do you have to pay for those?
Yes.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah.
What? Oh,
I don't.
really? Jesus Christ!
Bonus of skips.
No,
Oh.
if you're there for more than 2 hours, you do.
Oh, one of
Wow.
those. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Again,
everywhere you do,
even the places that you have to pay for over here. Well, a lot. What if you? Okay, the places that you have to pay for over here. If you fuel, you get it for free. If you fuel more than, I don't know, let's say 50 gallons, All right, which is what, like $10,000 for 50 gallons, roughly.
So you've
Give or
used their
take,
services
you know?
basically.
Yeah,
not that
if
bad.
you
Trialed it.
pay
Yeah.
like
That makes
basically
sense.
if for fuel, if it's more than $50 worth of 50 gallons worth of fuel, which is very easy to do, or $20 or spend $20 in the store, you get to spend a night for free. So and then
That's
per
pretty
20,
good.
Yeah,
you know.
that's
So
fair
and
enough.
I think that's really
Yeah,
fair.
that does make.
And
Yeah.
otherwise, it's I can't remember how much it is. It's like maybe $30 for the parking overnight, I think. I'm trying to we have there's in Ontario, California. There's 2 truck stops right next to each other. They're both owned like bases. One's called a petrol station. The other one's called a TA. But they're basically the exact same,
Right.
even though they have different
Yeah.
names. They're the same company.
Yeah.
But they get pretty full. Again, that's that area right there is the industrial area of LA. It's just,
Yeah.
there's yeah. Yeah, and I've never actually I never stayed over the night because that was my local base, so I always went home. But whatever, you know. Anyway, yeah, it was
Maybe
just,
they need to.
yeah. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say maybe they need to bring something in, like you say, if they pay for services and they go in there, why not? If you turn up, pay amount, and then you'll get some money back if you go in and buy food, for example, or
Oh, you
do
don't
certain
pay.
things.
You don't pay on the way in. You pay on the way out.
So I heard,
Right.
I heard, and this is where it might be. So I thought that all new like kind of industrial areas are now supposed to be built with like trucks like that need to go and rest, like an actual truck rest area in
Oh,
industrial
really?
places.
Okay.
It's what I thought was happening. But then even places like Amazon, their new warehouses, they're not doing it. They're
Well, you'd
chucking
think they
trucks off
would,
site.
wouldn't you?
But they're saying, oh yeah, and this is like, so Amazon. So you're working for Amazon. If you stay on site Amazon, you have to pay for it. There was a big thing about it where
Wow.
like,
In England.
truckers in England, yeah.
Okay.
So truckers were going to this like local like area, local toilet, like local like town, but they were like people like they were there for like 14, 15, 16 hours. And
Yeah.
obviously, truckers need to go to the toilet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're just gonna go. Yeah.
Well, and the people are complaining about the drivers doing that. And
But then
this
they're
is the
not
thing.
willing to have truck stops and things.
Well, this is it. And people, I don't, it seems unfair. I find in the trucking industry, it seems to be the wrong people that get blamed. Another example, you do you know when like
Yeah.
a truck is 2 trucks are overtaking the motorway?
Yeah.
One's slightly faster, and then the one that's on the one that's on the left, it just holds them out there for the entire time. Whereas etiquette
Yep.
is, you put your brakes on, you let the other truck pass. That's the way it works.
Yeah.
I wish they
But
do that over here.
People, that's the etiquette. You slow down, you let the other truck in, and you
Because your trucks are
and
governed at
it-
a certain speed, aren't they?
yes,
Yeah. All
yes.
56.
So,
yeah.
so you let them overtake. You flash them in. That's how
Yeah.
that's just
The
etiquette.
Good etiquette.
courtesy,
That's-
yeah.
Right.
Well, it
But-
keeps you moving as well, doesn't it? It keeps the motorway or the
does,
dual
yeah.
carriageway moving. It's safer for everyone else.
But you get
You know?
you find the people like battle, and then the cars will blast their horns. If it's been going on for too long, they'll blast the horns on the truck that's on the right side.
Yeah, and blame you.
Whereas
yeah.
it's not them that's the problem; it's the person
Yeah.
on the left. Like,
Or what they could do is just be patient and stay behind the truck. Unless you're going to overtake somebody with at least 2 miles an hour over. You know what I mean? It's just like, just think of it.
But it
it
doesn't
makes a
always
massive
work like that,
difference.
yeah. And
it
sometimes
doesn't
you'll
work
be
like that.
going,
People always say that, but it's bollocks.
like
really.
trying to gain up a hill or something as well, and then you'll just be getting up to the brow and you're about to get in front, and then this Arctic or whatever on the inside goes, oh, I'm going downhill now, I pick up speed, and they absolutely fly past you.
Yeah.
I mean, fair enough, you're faster, you're gonna do it, but
I have learned for my mental health and everything, and my experience, is that I've just learned to go slow. I don't like. I'm just gonna like.
Yeah,
if I ever
I
catch up
drive
to somebody,
very slow.
and it takes me a while to kind of catch up to him and look at my speed, I'm like, I could overtake him, but I'm fine. I'm just gonna go ahead and stay behind him. And
so
just
what
relax.
I used to do when I was on curtain siders, because when I start a job,
When you were a safe driver.
But now you're on
tipper.
tippers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now
Well,
you're a tipper. It's now different.
Well, I ask my boss whenever I start a company or start a job. I say, "How do you want me to drive?" You can either have me
Do
drive
you?
eco. I always ask them. Yeah, I ask
Okay.
every single boss when I
Is
start.
that not a red flag?
No. I say to them.
Like,
I say to
do you
them,
want me to drive sensibly or can I drive like I drive?
Well, no. I say, do you want me? Do you want to eco drive? Do you want me
Right.
to? Do you want me to hammer down, or do you want me to do a bit of both? And
Right.
like, for instance, these guys that I'm currently with want a bit of both, which is fine. It's just mixed driving, that's fine. But those drives that some companies like, we want you to drive full eco. So Dent Logistics wanted me to drive full eco,
Yeah.
or MAE wanted me to drive full eco, and I could get phenomenal mileage out of that. I mean, on my old Scania, when I was like fully freighted a lot of the time, I was getting like 14, 15 miles per gallon. So I could get
pretty
like
good.
serious. I honestly, that Scania was fucking great.
How much
for it,
miles per gallon?
So it's 14 miles per gallon. It was
14.
14, yeah.
Okay, sorry, it cut out. My bad.
Yeah,
I thought it was
14.
Yeah, what do American
But-
trucks do?
But
What,
what
they like 2?
Like 7 or 8.
Oh, it's close.
Yeah, but that again, that's some British roads, so you kind of, it's doing all sorts. But what I would do there is I would drive about well, no, I'll say 2 or 3. It wasn't. I would drive either 2 or 4 miles an hour under, just because I can't. I don't know if do you ever do this with the remote control? I'll get closer to the microphone as if I'm whispering this.
What?
Do you ever do
Yes,
this
please.
with do you know the remote control? Can you leave it
What
on
remote
a
control?
right for your TV? Can you leave it
Oh,
on a log
okay.
number?
Oh, I
Or
like
is it
even
just me?
numbers.
Yeah, so do I. I can't deal with it being on a
Yeah.
log number, so I always have to
Or
have it.
it could
So
be a 5 or
so-
a 15. It is fine.
Oh, no.
No.
No, I do like it
No,
on
no,
evens.
needs
Have
to
to
You know,
be
be
an
I
even
had
number.
I didn't have a problem with that before, but then somebody told me that this is a problem, and now I can't be on an odd number,
Yeah.
except for
Right,
for a
okay.
5 or a 15. I was
So-
fine
so-
before.
So this is something that I found, and so basically, what I would do is
Oh,
I'd set
no.
it just a couple of mile an hour under. But do
It
you
has
know
to be
F1?
an even number.
It always had to be an even number. So, but do you know Formula One? They've got what's called DRS. I looked at it like DRS. So when you go into like overtake, you then build your speed back up again, and you can kind of go and just shoot past them,
Oh,
and then come
okay.
back in. So it was quite
okay.
nice. I don't mind. If a boss asked me to drive hammer down, don't mind that. I enjoy driving quickly, but at the same time, I also quite enjoy eco driving. I quite enjoy the
I like
challenge of
driving
like
steady.
I like the challenge of like as you're coming up to the hills, knowing where your kind of cut off point is, so you can kind of
So-
coast it up, and you kind of. I mean, don't get me wrong. There was times I might have pushed it a bit too far. I was doing 35 at the top of a hill. We shouldn't have been doing that, but it was very
I like
eco.
the we had the little a little daff. Well, it's gone now, but we had a little daff, and they've got the little ticks. Have you not seen
Oh
them?
yeah.
And they do like when you're driving really well and you take a corner really well or you maneuver really well, and it just gives you like 5 ticks. It goes, "Well done, that was so well done."
That's
And you're just
incentive
you're
right
like,
there.
"Oh my god, that's amazing!"
It's
I
like
love
a
driving
game. It's like
that.
a game.
Here's the thing.
think
Over in
it's
America,
so much fun.
because most companies actually pay per mile, as in like you don't have that incentive to go slow, because the slower you go, the longer your day is going to be. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So now there is some companies out there that give you bonuses for having a better gas miles per gallon or whatever, right? Because they keep track of all that. But there's some companies that won't. So again, unless there is that incentive, what is the incentive to go 55 miles an hour when you could legally go 65? You know what I mean? It's just that
Yeah.
you'll save a fortune
get
if you go
that.
55, but not
I-
for the actual truck driver.
I do get that. I do, but okay. So Dent Logistics. And by the way, I'm not going to mention the name of the other place. But so Dent Logistics, I was getting like. I mean, I could get like 13, 14 miles per gallon out of that truck if I was trained hard. If I was watching out how I was doing, which obviously is a massive cost saving, especially over another company which asked me to drive hammer down, and my record there, my record lowest that I've ever got, averaged out over a week,
Oh
3.
no!
Were you
what?
going downhill the entire time?
3
How
miles
much-
per gallon.
Oh, you were going uphill the
Wow!
entire time.
Oh, well, no,
Wow.
I mean, I was fully freighted all the time, and I was,
And you still
Fucking-
you stayed in the first gear.
Gunning it.
I was,
Yeah,
mate, I'm a
tanking
lad.
it.
I was hooning it that week. I was
Wow.
fucking hooning it like that. That was just power down
Do
all
you
the
not
time.
find
running
that stressful though, driving like that?
I find it fun. I mean, don't wrong. If I'm honest
Legally,
with you,
you were everything was legal. You were just put to the floor until you reached the speed limit.
But
Yeah,
I
sure,
just
legal.
get, I don't know, I just get like, I find it more stressful because then you get annoyed that people are like in front of you and you want to get past them, you're trying to save time. Or
yeah,
red light
I will
turns
say
up.
I don't. I think so. I think my favorite style is definitely eco. Although I will say, I actually found that stressful for different reasons.
Really?
Because because when you're fully going for eco driving, so you're like, so you know them little ticks. So when you take your foot off the accelerator, you know the kind of what do they call it? They call it anticipation.
Right.
So that's when you take your foot off the accelerator and then put it on the brake. And if you
Yeah,
take
yeah,
your foot off the accelerator and then put it back on the brake straight away,
Yeah.
then that's kind of reducing your anticipation as such because you've not anticipated whatever it is. Whereas if you let it coast for like 10
so you're
seconds,
planning ahead
say,
using your retarder and all this. to
exactly
slow you
stuff
down.
like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Well, no, but you're not using your retarder straight away because why would you put your retarder on straight away? You've just had your foot on the accelerator. You should be letting it coast for a short while, and you should be kind of like anticipating. So, like, say for instance,
Right.
you're coming up to a junction, and you've planned well ahead. You've got your engine brake on. You're kind of watching it. You're thinking, "I'll do that," and then some car comes in from the left, jams its brakes on, and then you then have to put your brakes on. But then because they've done that, as the junction then comes off, and you have to go up, you're then back on the power. Whereas what you've done is
Right.
you've calculated, okay, I can run it, and by the time I get to the top of that hill there, I will I'll just kind of coast to a stop almost. And so you've planned,
But now you won't.
because it's the way I look at eco driving, or not even just eco driving. The way I think of Sonic, the way I think of trucking is it's like Sonic the Hedgehog,
Right.
Okay.
right?
Where are
And
we
where-
going? But yeah. Go on.
No.
I'm
How's
listening.
this going to
Listen
work?
me. Right. Sonic the Hedgehog, yeah.
Sonic speed.
Have you never seen a tipper? Right.
I thought we were doing eco driving.
Well, no, but,
Go on.
no, but either one, right? So,
right.
obviously, Sonic collects rings, yeah?
Right.
Right.
Okay.
And rings are like energy. And then when
Okay.
something happens,
I don't
and
think
like
they
you
are,
jump
but
on the
Rings
okay.
are not energy in Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah.
It's
no,
just
but
points.
that's
Right.
that's what it's like. That's what it's like.
You can get an extra
One-
life if you get 100 of them.
Right. But yeah, exactly like trucking. Right, but so the the rings from Sonic the Hedgehog is energy, yeah? And when
No.
something
Sure,
happens,
go with it.
someone breaks in front of you or someone cuts you up or something like that, and you've not anticipated it, it's like losing all your rings. And you know when Sonic
But
loses
then
all
you
your
got to
rings,
catch them. Catch
you've
as
then
many
got to
as
run
you
around and
possibly
pick
can.
up as many. But the reality is you've lost most of them. And it is just a
Right.
rush to try and
Yes.
kind of catch what it is.
Yeah.
That's
Unless you
what it's
had
like.
one. If you had one ring, you can keep catching that one ring, and so you've caught 100% of them.
Yeah, but then you're only doing 1 mile an hour at that point now, so it doesn't really matter.
But it's
does
not.
it?
But it's not energy. I'm sorry. You use an analogy of Sonic the Hedgehog when you're getting your facts wrong.
No,
sorry.
I'm not
Yeah,
saying.
you did
I'm
get
not
it wrong.
saying.
Rings
no,
are not energy.
David, I'm not saying.
I don't
I'm
care.
saying. No, I'm saying that it's the energy of the truck is like the rings from Sonic the Hedgehog. I'm not trying to say that Sonic the Hedgehog, the rings are energy. I'm just saying the energy of the truck is the representation of the rings from
I
fucking
would've been
Sonic
fine.
the Hedgehog.
I would've been
Are
fine
you
if you
listening
didn't
to me,
bring up Sonic
David?
the
The
Hedgehog.
fucking rings are not the energy. It's the energy.
Oh, okay, we've lost him.
You're bringing
Wow.
up
Guys.
my childhood video game. Okay.
This right
And
here.
you're
Don't ruin
this
this
is
for
why we
David.
need a producer, guys. This is why we need a producer. Also, it has occurred to me that we're like 50 minutes in. We still haven't fucking come up. We've not done a first topic yet.
Was that not a topic?
No, we've not
No.
done a topic yet.
Hey, because let's talk about the heat. Tom, do you have anything
God.
about the heat?
Well, that was
'Cause,
my topic. That was my topic, which I think we
Yeah,
mentioned about
let's
40
go with
minutes
that.
ago. We'll talk about that.
We've just literally lost whatever's
Right,
going
so
on.
I don't know. So this is gonna. So we're currently. Well, okay. So this is gonna get confusing because obviously these are recorded a week ahead. So next week, which is last week for you guys listening,
Yeah,
there's
so
a
Monday
red-
we got
there's
like
a
a
red
heat wave.
warning.
Yeah.
and honestly, I am not looking forward to it.
I think
I
we've
am
already
not
got a
looking
heat
forward to
stroke
it.
going on because this podcast
A
is
red
showing all
warning?
evidence of
Is
it.
Is that what you said? A red warning?
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, we've got
Okay.
there's like amber and red warnings for
Mhm.
like different types of weather.
This is like I don't think we've ever had this, have we?
Well, someone was saying, someone was showing a picture of like the heat from like the 90s and showing a map of it and like, oh, the same sort of temperatures, but they're not saying it's a warning. But I think the reason why they're putting the warnings in place is because people don't understand that it's bad and they don't talk
Yeah.
about it and they go off and do things and then they die because
This is true.
people be stupid. There you go. There's
Oh,
the
wow.
red.
Can you back up? Back
full
up?
on.
Back up.
Oh God, it won't
Oh,
let.
well,
I
that
can't-
has not made it better. That has only made it worse.
All right.
Come
what
closer.
temperature? What temperature is it? Is it right
No.
now?
No. We're not doing
Right,
what
right.
temperature is it. No, because
It's
going to
be 39 in London.
39.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
what's that in
wow.
Fahrenheit?
That's hold on. 39 is 102 degrees Fahrenheit. I think our temperature currently right now is actually 83 in Southern California.
Oh, okay.
So 83 is 28 degrees. But again, our if it's 100 degrees, which is basically what you just said, where it is in London, yeah, that's pretty bad.
Yeah.
That's pretty bad. But we're used to that. Every single house, you go into
That's the
it's-
problem, isn't it?
Unless
Like,
you're homeless, and that's really
adapted.
sucked. The
Yeah.
homeless, they probably don't have AC very much, and those are the people you need to really, really, really worry about.
The homeless
I can't
probably
imagine they
don't
do,
have
no.
AC very much. David, 2022. We are coming out with some amazing ones for you this.
Well, some homeless do get the opportunity to go into a shelter. I'm just saying, as in like.
Oh,
I'm just
okay,
saying,
right.
Oh,
that
okay.
makes sense.
Oh, wow. Well, I feel like a dick now, don't I?
but not a lot though. Again, not a lot. Again, because
Yeah.
a lot of times when they go, because they carry a lot of stuff, and of course, all the stuff they do carry, which they do a lot. Like I don't know what it's like in England, but the homeless, there is a huge homeless problem in LA. It doesn't matter what city
Yeah.
you're at, but especially
Yeah, I think
Portland,
it's
Oregon.
everywhere.
In Portland,
Yeah.
Oregon, the camps are just crazy big, But I know. But there's this interesting law in Southern California where cops cannot remove your stuff from the sidewalk. So you can have an entire tent that's
Oh,
taken up.
really?
Yeah, and you can have all this stuff. They legally can't because that's your property, and even if it's a homeless person has it and all that kind of stuff, they're actually so that's why they have so much stuff too, because it doesn't never gets taken away from them. And I don't know.
Oh, wow.
I'm not going to pretend that I know exactly what is going on and why they're homeless and all that. I don't, and it's just a sad situation that is going on, and it seems to be getting worse. But anyway, that's just a little fact where cops literally cannot take your stuff, even if it's on the sidewalk.
Interesting fact. No, it's good to know.
But anyway,
But yeah, the
so-
heat is bad.
yeah.
Yeah. First world problems. I feel like.
Do you have
should
AC
we
in your
be
houses?
talking?
In
No,
your
we
apartment?
haven't, David. No,
Okay.
we
I
don't
have
have
a-
that over here. Half the
No,
car,
I
my
have
car
what
is
you guys
broken
refer to as
with
a
acorn.
swamp cooler.
A what?
It's what in America they call it a swamp cooler.
Okay.
Basically, it's where it's you put cold water in it, and it's
Oh, one of these things.
yeah.
Because you can make
Exactly.
your own sort of aircon with a fan, and then you get a wet towel, and then like it blows through cold air.
It's like that essentially. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
that.
My first time driving a truck my first truck that I ever had truck driving in America, right back in 2002. So I'm driving through. It was a black truck, by the way, a Freightliner FL something or another.
Oh
And
my word!
So I had everything on cool, fan turned up. I'm like, all right, well, okay, whatever. It is what it is what it is. And I'm in Vegas, and it is hot, dry heat. I've got the window, I don't like and if it was hot enough, you could keep your truck turned on. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
When I say, because they're not a huge fan of idling in America.
Yeah.
So certain, because it basically costs like $20 worth of gas to run your truck overnight. All right. And which is a lot, or 10. I can't remember
Yeah,
exactly
yeah.
what it's, but anyway, it was
It's
enough to
not.
where it's
In
a huge.
fairness, that though, that's
probably nothing.
It's probably not as much as I was expecting you to say.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say like $20 an hour or something.
I can't remember what the facts are. I can't remember what the actual facts are. It's enough to where the bigger your company, the more it'll impact. So you may want to control it a lot more. So I just feel like the more money you're saving on something else, if you're a big company, the more money you're saving on fuel or whatever, you can maybe put towards a big thing in your in the terminal, like have a pool table or something. You know what I mean? Something entertaining or something that's worthwhile, more showers or whatever, right? So, but if you're in a small company, it may not be so bad. Just trying to kind of keep your people happy. But anyway, so I was in Vegas and multiple different states, but I just remember this one particular time I was in Vegas and it sucked. I couldn't. I had a fan blowing on me, truck running and everything, right? And then I know a few weeks later, I met somebody I had when I first started with the company in orientation. I was good buddies with there, and it was in Arizona, and it was like, I don't know, 110 degrees, hot as hell, and I hop into his truck, and then immediately like, wait a second, what is going on here? Whoa! My truck does not feel this cold. This is like, oh my god, I'm actually kind of chilling right now. And like, I had no idea because I was so new to AC in America.
Right.
I thought there was AC in my truck, but there wasn't. It was completely broken. So I had no idea that my AC wasn't working. And then I was like, immediately I came back to my truck and like put in a breakdown report. My AC doesn't work. I thought it did work, but it doesn't work. I had no idea of checking because I didn't really know what AC felt like.
Wait, but is this with your? If that's with the engine on.
Yeah, with the engine on, it just wasn't working. All it was blowing air.
So you don't have auxiliary AC units.
Some trucks do, not very much. Very few trucks have APUs, but they do exist. A lot of trucks will have a heater that actually will heat the truck up at nighttime, and
that's standard. Yeah.
Is
That's honestly that.
Is that what the auxiliary buttons are for? Is that night heaters then?
The night heater. Even your truck will have a night heater. Yeah,
my truck's got two auxiliary things, and I have no idea what they do.
So if the engine's off, even in your truck, when you press it, it'll have a night heater in there, which is just like a little electric heater that will heat it up.
No way! I'm going to investigate this on Monday.
Well, it's good if you just sat somewhere in the cold for however long. Sometimes even in a class 2, you can be sat for a while, and it's just good to put that on.
What powers the heat?
Well, it just off
hot
the battery.
Stuff?
Oh no, actually no. So no, it's not. So it won't be. Wait, actually, no. Don't ask me. I don't know because I'm sure there's probably drivers shouting, but.
We ain't got a clue. I haven't got a clue.
Hold on, I think I can hear him. I can hear him screaming. Oh, it's kind of muffled. I can't understand. I can't hear him very well, but I can hear something going on.
No, you know what? Yeah. I don't know, but I do know. No, wait, because
battery.
It must run off. It does something with the diesel. Does the because
so basically, I think there's trucks out there that do have that. There is like a pipe that comes out the back of the truck, and for fumes or whatever, right? But there is electricity that runs it, but there is diesel that goes into it as well. So it's a mixture of both. But if you run it long enough,
so what, like a little generator sort of thing?
I don't know. I'm not going to pretend I know it. I just know that there is diesel, there is electricity, and it can kill your battery if you run it long enough. So hopefully you have one of those trucks that actually will start up automatically. Do you actually have them? Was it over there?
But a lot of them have
some of the newer ones. I think
pretty much. If you ever see any European trucks coming in, they will have.
Right.
I mean, my old truck used to have a night air conditioner.
Well, mine's got auxiliary 1 and auxiliary 2, but I have no idea what they do.
This is something separate.
Oh no, I didn't have that then.
No, this is something. And this is something that actually kind of goes on the very top of the kind of. It just literally just sits in the cab, and basically all kind of wires. You can get them now where they're all built in, but most of them are aftermarket ones, which just basically what they do is where your sunroof is.
Right.
That's removed, and they put in an air
Oh, okay,
conditioning
yeah,
unit.
yeah.
It gets plugged into
Yeah.
the battery, and it can run all night without a problem. And it is frosty cold. It is delightful, to the point where I used to put it on, and I used to like kind of fully wrap myself. I used to like burrito myself. I like burrito myself.
Oh, I
in
like
the
that
blanket.
though.
surely you
Like
have
when I
control
used
of
to
the
go
temperature,
horse
don't
riding,
you?
you wrap yourself up.
I do.
Oh,
That's why I
good.
put it on maximum, then burrito myself.
Okay.
Yeah,
Because
but that's the
I
best,
like
David.
yeah,
That
that's the
is.
best
I'll
bit.
give him that. That is the thing when you are wrapped all cozy, like on
Yeah.
a winter day, and it's freezing out, but you are just like
Or
toasty. It's
or
so
a
good.
hot
But then you
summer
can't
day
move.
where everyone's but on a hot summer
Any
day
stop
where everyone's
motion
sweating their
movement?
bollocks off, right? And
What? And
I'm
you're sat in there like a burrito.
yeah. I'm like, oh, this is great. Outside the truck, boiling hot. Inside the truck, freezing cold. But in my burrito, lovely. Loving the temperature.
My favorite was when I wake up and there's 2 feet of snow around the truck. Your entire windshield's covered, everything's covered, but your truck has been running all night, and it's just so warm. It's just such a good feeling. There was a time
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
I
can
cared too
imagine
much
that.
about
But
idling
then
overnight,
maybe not the
so I
snow.
would freeze. And this is before I had a bunk heater is basically what we called it. Before we had the bunk heater, and I would just be freezing, and then to turn on the truck and everything's cold. Because my company actually got a little bit in trouble for this. They used to charge the drivers for idling too much.
Oh, really?
But there was a deal, and like you can actually get money too if you want to. If you didn't idle at all right, and they gave you a certain percentage of how much the truck ran. Let's say the truck ran for 100 hours a week, okay, and then you idled for only like an hour, so that's like 1%. Am I
Right.
Okay, so but
What, and they would charge you for that?
they would give you 10%, and you would actually get you can make money. But if you went over 10%, then
Right.
they start charging you money. Okay, so
Wow.
but they, because people didn't really understand how it worked, and they wanted to run their truck constantly because they were playing video games all day, or they just wanted their truck running all day. They didn't want to worry about it. They would get charged, and it's like they didn't believe them. Like they flat out told them at the very start when they started working for the company, this is how it is. If you want to make a little extra bucks, you know what I mean. But hey, if it is over 80 degrees, run your fucking truck overnight. That's fine. But tell us. If you don't tell us, then it's just going to sound, and we'll take that off. We don't want you. We don't want you sleeping overnight. We just don't want you. If it's 70 degrees overnight, we don't want you running your truck. It's as simple as that. All right. But they didn't understand, and they were.
It's not a bad incentive though.
Yeah, it's just like anyway, our company got a little bit in trouble because they were taking money away from drivers, even though they signed a contract. I don't know. I just have a beef. I don't have a beef with my company. I really don't. And it's just I have a beef with stupid people who don't understand and don't ask questions. And they didn't ask questions, and they got their money. They got dinged in their paycheck.
They should have got a Volvo, because
Volvos are amazing.
Volvos, the engine cutoff time is ridiculous on them. I've had that thing bring up an engine cutoff. At a traffic light. I was at a traffic light to too long, and it comes up and it goes engine. Oh, it's not long,
Something
and it comes
ridiculous.
up and it goes ding ding. I was like engine cut off, idle too
Just
long,
about
or
to pull
something like
away.
that. I'm like,
wow.
I'm on a traffic light.
Here's actually another
Volvo.
thing. In order to, all trucks did that in the US. Every truck that I've ever been in, it would always turn off after like 5 minutes. Okay, I think it was 5 minutes. Now, in order to keep idling, all right, there was this button on the steering wheel or wherever it was. It basically would bring the idle up, so you could click it up a few times, and it would bring the idle up just a little bit. Which actually means that your idle is actually now idling at a higher than it was at a real idle, which is using more gas and more fuel.
Yeah.
So I know, but then sometimes you have to bring it up to a certain idle in order because there's this shaking going on. Which, like, if you were watching a movie, it would kind of shake or whatever, and so you have to bring it up to a certain idle so it wouldn't actually shake, depending on the truck, obviously. It was so annoying because I'll be on my computer.
In the Mercedes,
you can put PTO on and stop it.
You can, that's something. That is something I do. But in the Mercedes, and Mercedes, is it into something? What's it into? What's the American truck brand? Interstate, is it, or something like that? Or
international.
Is that I think that's their Mercedes. I'm assuming they're the same. Where if you go into the options, you can disable it and it'll turn that off. If you go in,
Yeah,
there.
you can
So-
turn
In
it
a
off
lot
on
of
the Volvo
a lot of
as
company
well.
trucks,
Wait.
they would disable a lot of stuff.
You can?
regardless.
You can turn it off.
Oh wow! I need to find that. I've not found that option.
Let's just go on the menu and then you go down. It's pretty easy to
on
find.
on the right hand menu? So because there's the
Yeah,
little button
so
that
you've got your
switches between the
things.
left and the right screen,
So you got that? Yeah, you've got that little button, and then is it above it? You've got menu
and so it's
or
got
something.
taco. It has tachograph.
Yeah, you've got to be
it's
pulled
got-
over to do it. Oh, I can't remember which one it is.
do you?
You have to be pulled over to do it,
Right.
and then it'll come up with an
You're
extra
gonna need
menu.
to get an image for me, by the way, so I can put it on screen for this.
Oh yeah,
Because
sorry.
it's
Is
so
this
hard.
off
Very
talk?
visual.
Yeah,
Like
Yeah.
what? I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's just the Volvo menu. So the buttons. Once you get used to the Volvo controls, they work really well.
Yeah, it
But-
doesn't take much.
But getting used to them, coming from the other brands, they are fucking.
Mercedes.
Oh yeah, they're so strange. Shall
Volvo's
we?
pretty straightforward though. Yeah, go on.
Should we wrap this up before we get
I
to
think we
any
have
topic?
been
Oh no, technically
bambling
we
on.
actually got a topic. No one else
Yeah,
got a topic done.
I forced it in though. I forced your topic in.
So was that my topic or your topic?
It was
wasn't
your
my
topic.
topic
It was your
originally, but
topic
you
that I
brought
brought
it up. Oh, okay,
For
right.
you.
Just to point out, that doesn't count as your topic, David.
No. Well, I didn't think it did. I'm fine. Whatever.
What, have we suddenly got point scoring now on who gets what topic?
Wait,
This is
did
how
you
bad
not
we
know
are at
this?
do topics.
Did you not know this?
Well, I'm doing terribly.
Right. Ugh.
Yeah, let's
Let's wrap
All right,
this up.
before-
What have we got?
All right,
comment,
so we
subscribe.
have plugging to do.
We do.
We have. Please go to salmonslap.com to get our merchandise.
Tomos.
Please like and subscribe if you're listening or watching on YouTube. If you're on Apple iOS, if you're on any iOS device and you're watching it there, don't forget to give it 5 stars.
Chloe.
yeah.
Chloe.
What?
He's better at this than me. I'm the host.
David, you should let David do a
What's-
bit more than you, Tom. He's a lot better.
He's doing his nailing
Yeah.
this. In fact,
Yeah.
we've even the thing is, I've even ruined this bit because I'm talking over what he was going to say. So
Yeah. You
So,
just get
yeah.
him back for earlier. Oh yeah.
Of course, and we have Chloe on Skip Chick on YouTube and Tom on Except
whoop.
for Access. And I suppose I have a YouTube channel too called My Trucking Skills. And
Oh,
alongside
I
that,
suppose.
there's
Yeah.
also a game that you can download called My
Oh,
Trucking
okay,
Skills.
it's.
And there
David,
might be a game
Dens.
called My European Truck Skills. Trucking
I was about to say
Yeah.
when you releasing that bloody game. Although, wait,
Isn't it
might
now?
has it?
It might
has
be released.
It might be released by the time
It
this
might
comes out.
be.
Is it?
It might be. Here's the thing: if you're playing it on PC,
Last episode you said it would be released, so it must be released.
problems
Oh
happen.
no.
Oh, okay.
The game's
Okay.
finished. I keep on altering stuff. Not because I'm still waiting on my developer, and there's a few things and there's some trials and all that kind of stuff because I still have to actually put it onto. It has to get approved by Apple first. I don't think there's any actual approval waiting on Google Play. Again, it is actually available
Wait,
on PC.
Even though you've already, I guess you could release.
I have an
anything,
other
couldn't
game.
you?
This isn't an update. This is a completely another game. And
Oh,
by the way,
right.
this is
Okay.
and I know this is going to piss some people off. If you're even though they've purchased the American version, they're still going to have to purchase the European version because it took me just
no.
as long to make the
Well,
European
I
version.
get that.
Even though they're the same levels, it's just that I had to resize everything, and it took me a lot more time. And this pays for my physical therapy for my carpal tunnel. All right, because I'm on the computer all day working on it.
Fuck off.
Okay, so
Fuck off.
Just needs a little violin for that one.
Make it a little bigger violin, all right? Come on. Oh, I've seen smaller violins. But anyway,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Again, more than likely, if you're impatient, you can definitely get it on the website, mytruckingskills.com.
Okay. Is
Slash
that plug
games.
over now? Have we done that?
Yeah.
Hey, I plugged you
I think that's it.
first.
Well, thank you. Yeah. Like the shortest plug ever. Thanks. Yeah.
I love with you. Nailed it, mad. We're all good. We're all good.
We're
Right.
good. We're good.
And on that note, 1 second, let me just quickly get in position. Thank you so much for listening. And if you haven't listened, how did you get this far?
How did you, honestly?
Exactly. And we shall see you next time.
Take it easy,
Bye.
guys.
Bye.